Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Blake, and we are going over some concepts of circuitry today. This is class 1 of 3. Today, what we're going over is what is a circuit, what is a diode, and then I was also going to write on here, what is a battery. I didn't quite have enough room to write all that there, though, so I just have these two up here. So, does anybody know what a circuit is? You want to call on anyone? No? Okay. So a circuit is a pathway through which electricity can flow. So what we have with electricity, it flows just like water. Have you guys ever seen a pathway of water doing any kind of work, maybe turning a water wheel like this? When we have electricity flowing through a pathway, we can get that flowing electricity to do work for us in a similar way. We can turn motors, we can light lights, we can make speakers, make noise. We also have a diode, which is another thing that we're going to be working with here today. A diode is a one-way gate through which electricity flows. It's going to flow just the one direction through that diode and not the other, okay? So today, our project that we're going to be working on is a paper circuit using some copper tape and some batteries and a few LEDs. I'm going to switch over right now to our project cam, and we're going to go ahead and get started with that. So the video input switches to the other camera. What we have here is our project materials. We have some LEDs. LED stands for light emitting diode. So an LED is a type of diode that when the electricity goes through it, it'll light up, emit light. And we even have here on our lid, probably can't read that, but it shows the specific voltages required to light the light. Now we're going to go over what voltage means in our next class, so don't worry about that just yet. But generally speaking, voltage is sort of analogous to water pressure. We talk about water flowing like electricity flowing. The voltage is going to be analogous to the pressure of that. So what we have here is the LEDs. Then we also have this copper tape, which is a pretty fun material. Copper tape is going to be what we use to create our circuit. Now let's do a little bit of planning, okay? Let's go ahead and use our markers to draw out the pathway that we want to make with the tape. I'm going to put our tape over here for right now. There's a lot of it. I have a lot of material. And then also we have our batteries right here. So our batteries, I'm going to open one up, break it off there, and then I can peel back that and get the battery out. Now, what is a battery? So if we have our, I'm going to sort of use this paper as another board because it's maybe easier for you guys to see the diagrams that I draw in here. Talk about electricity flowing from one place to another. If we have a whole bunch of electricity over here, I'm just going to put a number, say 8, and then none in this, I'm going to put 0. When we create a pipe that connects those two spaces, what we get is the electricity flows through the pipe. Now, a battery is essentially this whole sort of setup. We have two spaces, one where there's a bunch of electricity and one where there's not. And a battery is just, we just bring those two spaces together into one. Now, a battery has a big wall in the middle like this, and electricity never flows between those spaces through that wall. That's a big, thick wall. So we have our electricity over here, none over here. And then what we do is we create a pipe, like a pathway like this, from one side to the other. So then what we have is the electricity flows out, up through this way, like that, and then into the other side of the battery. Okay, so our battery is right here. I'm going to take this away and we're going to get a new page. So what sort of pathway do we want to make with this? Now, the battery itself has two sides, this side here, and then there's a black ring in there which insulates it from the other side here. We have a plus written on this smooth side. That's the side with our electricity in it. And then the other side here is our minus. So the electricity, when it comes out of the battery, it's going to come out this way, and then it's going to go around to the other side through our circuit that we create. So let's go ahead and sort of plan out the pathway that we want. I'm going to make my project just sort of like a little painting. You can maybe do a greeting card if you like. But what I need to do is I need to create a pathway from one side of the battery to the other. So to do that, I'm going to take a corner of my paper and I'm just going to fold it over like this. Okay, so it contacts the other side of the battery. Now, with my copper tape, I am going to create a pathway like this. You guys can see. And then it's going to come over here. Okay. And then I'm going to come down like this. And I'm going to come down here and go back to the other side of the battery right there. So you see what I've created here is almost a complete circuit, but there is that break right there. So in the break, that's where I'm going to put my light. And the light is going to be a part of my circuit. Now, you probably can't see this, but I'm gonna hold it up close. My LED, in fact, has a longer leg and a shorter leg, okay? Now, remember when I told you that an LED is a diode, so that means light can only go through it in one direction. If I put this the wrong way on there, it's not gonna go through. So I'm gonna look at this, I'm gonna pinch it to my battery. I pinch it that way, it doesn't go on. I pinch it this way, and look at that, it goes on. Okay? So what I learned from that is that the longer leg needs to be on the plus side. If the shorter leg is on the plus side, that's the wrong way, and it's not going to go on. So longer leg on the plus side, that's the right way that the diode goes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pay attention. Which side is our plus side? Is it the up-facing surface or is it the down-facing surface? Now, here, you probably can't see it, but it is, in fact, the down-facing surface. So that means my longer leg, right, is going to be on this part of the circuit that touches that underside of the battery with the plus side. So now that I've planned out the pathway of my circuit, I'm going to go ahead and use my copper tape to create that pathway. Let me go ahead and start a roll of this. So I take my piece of tape and first I'm just going to go right to there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and peel the tape off of the backing. This is actually very hard right here, you guys. Peeling this backing off the tape can be pretty difficult. And if you're not careful, you can let go of the tape and it can curl all up and get ruined. So you want to be very careful and maybe not use super long pieces of tape. So this is going to go down onto my pathway there. And then I'm also going to use more tape to complete more of the pathway. I have these angles here, so I want to make sure that I use the right length of tape. Again, this is pretty difficult getting this peeled off of here, but we can do it. Oh, I think we can do it. Yep, it's coming off. There we go. So I want to make sure it doesn't get all curled up. Okay, take the backing off the tape, and then the tape can go on my pathway here. Now, I still have a couple more segments of tape to do. Let's go ahead and get those done. So this one up here for my battery, I'm going to say that that's, there we go. That looks good. Let's go ahead and peel that tape segment. So we want to remember, folks, that a circuit is a pathway through which electricity can flow. Now, if there's a break in the pathway, then we don't have a circuit and electricity can't flow through it. So we need to make sure that we have a continuous pathway all the way through. Now, something that I could do, but I'm not going to, a mistake I could do is maybe if I put that down like that there, you guys see how this section of the pathway is broken and the electricity would not be able to flow through there. So I want to make sure when I'm working with my copper tape that at each joint I overlap the tape, okay? It's important that we have a continuous pathway of tape. And if you don't have any overlapping of the tape, you may want to rip off just a tiny little segment to sort of give it a more solid connection there, okay? So now I said my plus side of my battery is on the bottom and my longer leg needs to be on that side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sort of bend the legs a little bit that they are able to touch those metal pathways. And from here, what I'm going to do with my copper tape is I'm just going to tape right over the legs onto the other tape. So this way, I join the red LED into the circuit there. I have, whoa, not peeled this tape correctly. Excuse me. Get the other side. There we go. So I only need half of this, so I rip that in half. And with one half, I attach this leg to that tape, okay? And then with the other side, I attach this leg to that tape, okay? Make sure it touches nicely there. All right, so now all I have left to do is put my battery in place and pinch it shut to create my circuit here. Let's see how that goes. Look at that, you guys. Pretty neat, huh? So again, when I open the circuit and there's no continuous pathway, it goes off. Of course, I can also break the circuit and the continuous pathway by maybe scratching the tape here, right? Completely gone. Uh-oh. Now my project is no good. It's not going to work, right? So let's see. Right, that's broken. So what we can do to repair that maybe is add another piece of tape. Now, normally our gadgets aren't just a single light, unless you're talking about your gadget as a flashlight or something like that. And they have maybe other components like motors, maybe other lights, all kinds of things. We're going to talk about how to work with multiple things in your circuit in our next classes with the concepts of voltage and current. But for right now, we just have this one. So, do we have any questions here today about our project materials or about our concepts? No? All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Well, I won't see you guys tomorrow, but I'll see another group of folks tomorrow for this same class. And then remember to check out my YouTube channel, Mr. Blake STEM Instructor, to see this video posted and others. All right. Well, you guys have a nice day, and it was good to see you today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.